comic book fans, I'm Jason. It is the 26th of October 2017, the day after New Comic Book Day, and you are watching Comic Book Weekly, where I share with you the brand new books I picked up this week and talk a little bit about which books I'm looking forward to and what I'm expecting from them and all. Now, yes, it's a day late, I know. I hoped to have this video up yesterday, but life sometimes gets in the way, but I'm back, better late than never. So let's share with you this comic book goodness I've picked up this week. I'm going to kick it off with the indie books. And first off, from IDW, I picked up this week Star Trek Boldly Go. This is issue number 13. I'm still working my way through the back issues of this, so I'm not on this yet, but this kicks off a brand new story. So for anybody who's kind of got the Star Trek bug from watching Star Trek Discovery, this is probably a great place to jump on because it's the start of a brand new story. And I'm looking forward to catching up and getting into that one because I've been enjoying the back issues that I've been reading. So next up, probably the first book I'm going to read this week. Well, not probably. This will be the first book I read this week. We have Saga, chapter 48. And the lady in my comic book shop informed me this is the best issue ever because it features none other than Gus. Just the coolest character in comics. He is so adorable and so cute. I love Gus. And if Brian K. Vaughan ever does anything to Gus, I'm telling you, there's going to be trouble. It's kicking off. It is kicking off. We then have Doctor Who, the 11th Doctor Adventures, Year 3, issue number 11, which I like this variant cover. A very serious looking 11th Doctor there. We then have Bloodshot Salvation, issue number 2. I read the first issue yesterday and I enjoyed it. But I've enjoyed all of Lemire's Bloodshot stuff. He really has done a good job with this character, and I've always found Bloodshot one of the more interesting characters in the group of characters from Valiant. Just because of like his whole backstory and everything, I've always liked the guy, and he sets up a very intriguing story, and he manages it really well because you kind of have like a bit that's set in slightly in the future, and then we jump back to the present, and it's kind of like, well, how are we going to? What happens between now and the future that causes what we see? So I like the structure of the story. It was very intriguing, and I like the characters, and all I just really enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to getting into issue 2. We then have Eternity, issue number 1, also from Valiant, and this is a blank cover. It's not gone all not an illusion. It is a blank cover. I have no idea what this is about. I've seen a few pages from it, and the art looked really good, but I've not read what this is about. And sometimes it's nice to go into a book, because Valiant, I just buy everything Valiant do. The only thing I will not buy that of Valiant is Quantum of Woody, because I don't like Quantum of Woody. But anything else Valiant, I always buy and try. And so I just blindly pick it up. And what is nice, because like it's a rarity in comics, usually when I buy a book, I know kind of the gist of the story and what I'm getting, or why I'm buying it. Unless it's a book by a writer that I really like, or an artist, or features a character I like, I might try it out. Like with no, I was going to say with Batman White Knight, but I knew going in what that was about, so I can't say that one. But occasionally I have, not very often. So it's nice to have a book and just have totally no idea what this book's going to be about. So that's going to be cool. We then have XMen of War, issue number 8. I love XMen of War. This is definitely my favourite Valiant character. It would be out of XMen of War and Eternal Warrior, and I think probably he would just win it. I'm still catching up with this, but once I've caught up, yeah, I'm excited to read it. And I love how each issue of this, it's kind of, it must be their big book, because each issue's got that cardboardy kind of cover, which kind of always makes it feel that little bit more special. So jumping over to DC Comics now. Kicking things off, we have part 4 of the Oz Effect with Superman Action Comics, issue 990, and I've got the lenticular cover there. We have Superman and Superboy, and then we have Superboy and Jor-El. So, you know, this is the battle for Superboy's soul this issue, as kind of Jor-El as kind of trying to turn, he hasn't been able to turn his son to the dark side, so to speak, and to make him see that Earth doesn't deserve him, so he's trying to go through the grandson now. So yeah, I've been enjoying this, so I'm looking forward to that one. Speaking of books I've been enjoying, next up we have Batman Detective Comics, issue 967. This features a lonely place of living, which I think it's part 3, and it's the Tim Drake story. And like Tim Drake is my favourite Robin, so I've been loving this. It's been brilliant, and we've got this alternate Batman for the future that is a future version of Tim Drake, and he has now learned that the future can be changed. So he figures he can stop everything. And the thing that brought that to him is he said to Tim, he said, look, if I can't convince you of the future that's going to come, has to come, I'm just going to say one thing: make things right with Connor. And meaning Superboy from like pre-Infinite Crisis. I think it was Infinite Crisis where he died, and him and Tim were super close, and it was a whole like reason that Tim at the time changed the color of the Robin outfit because as a tribute to Superboy, kind of wearing Superboy's colors because he died, and they were so close. And so like, but like in the New 52, he doesn't exist. So Tim is like, Connor who? Who's Connor? And that kind of made older future Tim think, wait a minute, and he scans and sees the future is now malleable and can be changed. And so now he's going to go and kill Batwoman because he thinks everything can be changed by killing Batwoman. But like, yeah, I like this. It's opening the door. Is this going to open the door? I hope so anyway. But is this opening the door to the return of Connor Kent, Superboy? And what would that mean for the other super versions of Superboy we've seen in the New 52? Do they still exist? Because Superman had his history kind of weeded back in to the history combined, didn't he? So like that's kind of questions like where's that stayed as a kind of Ken? And is this like another character that Oz and potentially Dr. Manhattan have taken off of the DC board, and why? So because that's a fantastic new device that you've got, like that Dr. Manhattan has been fiddling with stuff and taking characters out. So like all the characters that have kind of gone, we can bring back. So that's a really good plot device. But I'm super excited to see what is going to happen with that this issue. We then have the Flash issue number 33. This is a Metal tie-in. Bats Out of Hell Part 1. So it's a tie-in to Metal, and you've got the Flash on the cover here going up against Red Death. So I'm behind on the Flash, but this looks like a story that I can kind of jump in because it's a tie-in. So I'm super psyched about that because I do love a bit of Flash. We then have Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps, issue number 31. Again, I'm behind on this as well, so I'm looking forward to catching up on that. We have Batman the Merciless. This is the latest Dark Knights one, introducing this one. I think this one is the Wonder Woman Batman. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he gets his powers. I was slightly disappointed with last week's the Drowned one. The only reason I was disappointed, if you saw my review, it wasn't because I felt it was bad. I just felt because it was the first one that the world felt it had so much potential that I really wanted to see more of it, and we didn't get to. So I'll be very curious to see what this one is like this week. Peter Tomasi's written it. Wait a minute, no, it's Francis Manapul done the art. Oh my god, I am freaking out. I did not realise Francis Manapul was the artist. I love Francis Manapul's art. Oh my god, this may be the first book I read this week now. I didn't realise Manapul was on this. I've had this book like in my house for 24 hours and I didn't realise that. Wow. So yeah, this has gone to the top of my reading pile now. I love Manapul's art, so yeah, I'm going to be reading the heck out of that one straight away. We then have Nightwing, the New Order, issue number 3. I've been enjoying this. It's a 6-part miniseries. It's an Elseworlds story, meaning that it's not set in continuity, so it's just a story. It's set in the future, and basically Nightwing has been responsible for the destruction of 90% of the world's metahumans, meaning they no longer have their powers, and kind of powers have been banned. Then he finds out his son has powers, and now he's kind of having to deal with the consequences of his son having it. I loved the last 2 issues. I felt it was a much more realistic kind of reaction to what is happening, and he's trying to kind of right the ship, and then the control of everything that's going on is taken out of his hands. So now he's kind of reacting more to what's happening rather than trying to control it. He's just in a reactionary position. So yeah, super been enjoying this one, so I'm really looking forward to see what's going to happen this issue. We then have Teen Titans issue 13, which I love that cover. That's really good. I think I'm an issue or two behind on this, but I have been enjoying Teen Titans. Been a good book. Even though I do want them to get to a point where they're all friends, and it doesn't feel like they're at that point yet. But I feel having Starfire as leader will be an interesting learning curve for Damien, because he really needs to learn how to interact with others and not always be in control. So that'll be interesting. But then again, you look at his dad, Batman. His dad always has to be in control, whether he's the leader or not. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. We then have Wonder Woman issue number 33, which I've not read none of this James Robinson stuff, but I do like Robinson's writing, so I'm looking forward to getting caught up with this and reading his run. All New Wolverine issue 26. I'm almost up to date. I've got issue 25 to read, which I think was the first part of this one, Orphans of X. But I've been enjoying this series. I really like how they've written Wolverine. I like a supporting cast. I've had her clone Gabby, a little younger clone, and her pet Wolverine, Jonathan. I think it's been really cool, and I like the characters, and I've liked the stories. It's been good so far, really good. And I hope with the return of a certain character that doesn't mean that we're not going to have X-23 as Wolverine anymore, because I really enjoyed it as Wolverine. But then again, I'm also not a fan of having two versions of the character, you know, like having two Spider-Man or two Captain Americas. I'm not a fan of that, so we'll see what happens. We then have The Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 790, which I enjoyed last issue. It was kind of one of them difficult things, because you're seeing a character you care about suffering, and that's never fun. But it also felt like it was getting back to basics and getting back to what Spider-Man does well. And for me, I like the progression of him being science brain Peter Parker and being a big deal in the Marvel Universe. I kind of liked him, you know, not being treated as a joke. But at the same time, I didn't like him as a global superhero. I kind of feel I like Spider-Man as like he's the New York-based hero. And I feel there's certain characters who should be based in New York and be helping New York. And then you have your characters that would deal with threats to the planet. And when there's a big event, yes, Spider-Man will come into it. But otherwise, he's not on the big team, even though he's a great big science brain. So I feel that this is kind of getting things right again with Spider-Man. But it'd be interesting to see where we go from here, because I hope he doesn't lose everything he gained, even though I kind of want to see them reset things. We have Daredevil 28. I'm way behind on this, but I need to catch up on that. We have the Despicable Deadpool, issue 288. I enjoyed last issue. I thought that was a good start to this, and getting back to Deadpool not being a hero. I think this is definitely a good direction for the character, and getting him back on track. And then I think the stuff with being a hero worked. But I think just like where he's at right now, I find personally much more interesting. So yeah. I enjoyed the last issue. It had Cable. Like the whole story is Deadpool kills Cable, but last issue Cable got taken away. So now Deadpool, who managed to cut off Cable's arm, as his arm, he's now going to use it to time travel and find Cable and rescue Cable so he can kill Cable. We still don't know fully why he wants to kill Cable, but I'm looking forward to finding out, because you know there's some kind of reason in that demented mind. We have Jean Grey, issue number 8, which I've been enjoying this series. And the whole vibe of like each issue, it's a different character she interacts with. I kind of liked, and I've enjoyed this. It's been good with the whole kind of thing that's linking it all, the whole thing with the Phoenix Force coming for her. I've liked that. I think this has been good. We then have the Punisher issue number 17, which I'm still trying to catch up on this after jumping back on board. So I'm looking forward to getting up to date on that. Sad. Last issue of Silver Surfer. I've enjoyed this run. I love Aldrin's art, and I've just really enjoyed. Dan Slott has kind of very much brought the Doctor Who vibe into Silver Surfer, and as a Doctor Who fan, I've loved that. So I'm sad to see this one go. I don't know if it's just the writer has come to the end. The creative team have decided this is it. This is as far as we wanted to go. Or Marvel have decided this is the end. But I'm sad to see this one go, because I've enjoyed this one every month. And finally, we have XMen Blue, issue number 14. This is a crossover with Gold at the moment, Mojo Worldwide. I think this is the final part. I've got to catch up with Gold, then I can read the crossover. So I'm looking forward to doing that, because I've enjoyed this book. I like this young team. of X-Men and kind of the consequences of them being in the future and the way that their characters have changed. So now, even if they went back to the past, it would create for sure. We already know they come from an alternate timeline that they haven't been able to trace their way back to. But we know enough that even if they went back there, that they would create another divergent timeline because they've all been changed so much from their time in our present. So, but I like these characters and I'm enjoying this book. So those are my books for this week. I will be back, hopefully, fingers crossed, in a few days with a video, with another video, probably a comic book overload video. We'll see. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you all have a glorious week, filled, jam-packed with comic book goodness. All leaves me to say is, once again, thank you very much for watching. I've been Jason. This has been Comic Haul Weekly. Keep reading, and bye for now.